Marc Thielman sent a letter to the district's family saying the COVID ride just keeps on rolling.
The superintendent of an Oregon school district is fighting back tonight.
Mr. Thielman has kept his schools open throughout the entire crisis.
I can't think of anybody else that would have opened. That speaks volumes.
Marc Thielman, superintendent of the Alsea School District and candidate for governor.
If there's hope for Oregon, Marc Thielman's it.
This is America, and some things have to be allowed even if we don't agree with it.
Government exists to serve the people, and the Constitution exists to limit the government. I'm not a normal candidate. This fight is so critical. We are talking about liberty, allowing people to decide what goes into their bodies. I'm going to fight like hell, and I'm going to serve each and every one of you.
Protracted state of emergency is having devastating effects on society.
I was thinking about self-harm and suicide.
Marc Thielman really, truly cares about everyone he comes in contact with. He's fighting for our district. He's fighting for these kids. He's fighting for these families. And he's fighting for the state to be the best it can be. You don't get that anymore. You know, it's oh, I gotta look good for this person or I gotta look good for that person. And that's not how he is. He does what's right, no matter what.
Right here is a nice letter from Governor Brown. She writes, I'm aware of one district leader who has sent a letter to parents urging them to request an accommodation for their child under the Americans with Disabilities Act. And Amy, you talked about the bullying and the dismissing.
The governor also calls out the superintendent of the Alsea School District.
She wrote, I find it deeply appalling that any education leader
who is supposed to be setting an example for our students would send a communication so callous and offensive to Oregon parents and children with disabilities. I am one of those parents. This is my highly impacted, highly special needs daughter, Molly, who Governor Brown's mandate last year completely abandoned. The bullying has not stopped. They're focusing on the wrong thing. They should be focused on connections to kids and families. The mission of what government exists to do, and that is to serve the people, not control them. I've already been inquired of because they can't figure out why we've had adult cases in the building and not massive student spread like everyone else. You want to know why? Because we apply real science.
Closing schools, closing down friendships, gatekeeping being a child has hurt so many teenagers. I was thinking about self-harm and suicide. Well, Marc, he's done things for me. He has done things for so many countless other teenagers. He's opened up a school when the Oregon government said, no, you will not.
His story is a product of the things that can be accomplished when a school system is oriented towards serving the people and not asking the people to serve it.
He has this calling to do the right thing, to take care of people, to protect, to serve. He is the most compassionate and courageous man that I've ever met. He supports all people from all walks of life.
I got to help pack up a young student's desk yesterday because they've already pulled their kid because they feel personally attacked by the threat of this immunization issue. But the worst is, as superintendent in a small community, I get to say to some of Terry's grandchildren, you get to come to school. But I get to say to others, you don't get to come to school. This is asinine. I'm here to serve students. I take all students, documented, undocumented, and the like, and I don't ask for their health records when they come through the door.
This issue with the COVID pandemic and the government overreach shows you just how disconnected people like Governor Brown are from everyday hardworking Oregonians.
The truth comes out, and the truth usually comes down to a pattern of behavior over time. And when we look at a pattern of behavior over time, when it comes to Marc Thielman, he doesn't go into survival mode. He goes into the mode of how are we going to be successful? How are we going to make this a win for everybody? Because he's always got that higher order thinking that comes with the high executive functioning that makes him just be able to do these kind of things that we're doing right now. I can't think of anybody else that would have opened under the circumstances here in Alsea other than Marc Thielman. That speaks volumes to his ability to work through policy, help create policy, help guide policy, help implement policy, and see it through. It's not win or lose with Marc. It's win and win.
I want to be a governor that represents all Oregonians, and I have the track record to follow through with that.
I did some legislative work and was in the newspaper a lot, and I just worked hard to pass all these laws, open enrollment, school choice, allowing public school districts to be innovative and do creative things. In other words, fewer restrictions for public schools. Why would I put myself out to run for governor when I'm having so much fun and success working with kids? Because this crap has to stop. And the best position to stop it is the governor's office.
I decided I wanted to run for governor just a hair shy of 2 years ago, really after the previous legislative session, watching dysfunction between both parties, and then the passage of multiple new laws that were extremely divisive out in the general populace in Oregon, either between urban and rural, between rich and poor, and a variety of other things. The amount of division is just unprecedented, and it's totally preventable.
This fight is so critical. We are talking about liberty. If we had chosen liberty, allowing people to decide what goes into their bodies without pressure, we wouldn't be dividing ourselves between vaccinated and unvaccinated. You are being lied to. I choose the truth. I'm not going to lie to myself, to my kids, to my family, to the people I care about. I cannot do it. Don't ask me to do it because I won't. I'm not a normal candidate. I'm a school superintendent, and I know how to fight and win, and I'm going to fight like hell, and I'm going to serve each and every one of you. You will see results.
I wish the whole of Oregon, the people of Oregon, could see just how entrenched and how resistant our government was to supporting our kids and families. And so enough's enough.
It doesn't matter if you have different opinions than he does. He will love you, support you. At the end of the day, he's one of the very few people that I would want in my foxhole.
When it comes to Marc Thielman as a superintendent, advocating for kids, doing what's right for kids, and working and mentoring other people, that's why I'm here. That's why I love working in Alsea. I love working for Marc Thielman.
What he has done for this community is more than words could say.
Some might call him a hero.
Absolutely. Absolutely.